The humanitarian assistance and disaster relief are quite important area for possible cooperation between the US and China. In fact, both countries, they have prioritized Africa in their humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. I think most of the statistics indicate that almost half of the assistance from both countries going to Africa. Uh, Definitely, the two countries, they have different approach and different national security interests in the delivery of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. And those, the divergent ways of delivering humanitarian assistance may not negate the importance of the common ground of areas of convergence between the two countries and to create entry points for the joint cooperation, possibility for cooperation. Now, definitely, the unlike the China, the U.S. assistance is and disaster relief in most cases is guided by quite principle of accountability, transparency, but not necessarily focusing on the multilateral engagement. They involve other actors beside the state actors in the delivery of aid. And it is heavily guided by issues of good governance. China, on the other hand, is more focusing on the state-to-state relations in the delivery of humanitarian assistance and the disaster relief, and in most cases guided by the principle of non-interference. But the important thing is that the same two countries, they have a common agreement on the some commitment, and especially the Paris Declaration on Aid Effectiveness that actually put down a very clear principles for the partnership and the delivery of aid. There is no doubt, although one would say the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief is more or less depoliticized than any other intervention in terms of the great power competition, the competition of U.S. and China in Africa. But definitely, aid itself becoming so strategic and becoming part of the competition if it is not coordinated and in a cooperative way on the continent. And this is becoming even more relevant because the rapid increase of the China intervention, I mean, aid assistance and disaster relief has increased recently, rapidly. And I think with the decision now by the US government to scale down or at least 83% of aid, that one will have a very profound impact on the dynamics of the aid delivery in Africa. Now, the way I'm seeing the potential is that there are areas the China and U.S. delivery of aid and disaster relief will be shaped by the African agencies, and this is what is missing in most of the intervention, whether it is aid or development, that the African agency is missing. And I think it is this African agency, as well captured by some of the commitments, some of the policies of the US, of the African Union, especially the Vision 2063, and there is also humanitarian assistance policy framework that is still under discussion. And these are the things that can shape this agency can shape how Africa can benefit from the collaboration of China and US in the delivery of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Definitely, this will demand the African Union to take the lead And one of the strategic recommendations, a possibility of having a tripartite partnership between African Union, US, China, for this tripartite partnership for the delivery of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. And this partnership will be informed by the existing covenants and commitment by the three institutions, three partners. And definitely, it would be important to be guided by a clear vision, a shared vision, and strategic goals. And importantly, also to be guided by guiding principles as provided in different commitments like the Paris Declaration on Aid Effectiveness. And definitely, these are the things. And then definitely, eventually, the issue of capacity building for Africa to play an effective role in harnessing and and encouraging the two countries to work together for the betterment of the effective delivery of aid to the continent. I think that's why I feel the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief is key for de-escalating the conflict, but even providing a basis for easing the competition between China and US in Africa.